Hey guys, welcome back to Red Devil TV. Look, big reports came out this week. Look, there's a bunch of things to talk about, and really, I think this Frankie De Jong situation, I think it's a lot simpler than what people think, and I think that I had thought about this in the last 2 weeks. I thought about, look, is it just Xavi just talking when it comes to reports, claiming that he doesn't want to get rid of Frankie De Jong. He's a big part of Barcelona. But when it comes to it, reports have been coming out the last couple of days that, look, Barca do intend to sell Frankie De Jong this summer. And it's more of a case of, look, Barca want to sell, but look, you may give us the piece for him, but you got to convince him to come. So it's more of, look, this might be just more of a personal thing. It might be more of a one-on-one situation where, look, we might have talks with Frankie De Jong. If he doesn't want to come, we might give him 90 mil, 85 mil. If he doesn't want to come, he's not going to come. Look, if he's forced to come, I already said, I've been saying it this whole time, ever since this Frankie De Jong situation has come about. The last 3 weeks, this news has come out about Frankie De Jong. If he doesn't want to come, there's no point having him here. There's no point having him here. And look, if it's as simple as that, Barca are willing to sell. We know the trouble they're having in terms of their finances. If they do want to sell, but Frankie De Jong does not want to come, it could be a bit of a bad situation. I could see him coming, and then we have almost like a player who's there, but who doesn't want to be there, an unhappy player. Look how many unhappy players we've had this season. We don't want more of that. And look, there's come out more reports about Jones apparently not leaving this summer. Apparently, there's no intention for Man United to sell Jones. Why? Because he's probably not going to have many buyers. Let's be completely honest with you. What club is going to want to buy Phil Jones? Look, it's not even the fact about the past. It's not even about his ability in the past, in the last 5 to 10 years at Man United. It's about, no one's really seen him play for the last couple of years. So how's anyone going to know how good Phil Jones is? And yes, he had one decent game against Wolves where he was probably man of the match in that game. But come on, even then he still cost us the goal. So look, in terms of Phil Jones, he's probably not going to be sold. He's probably going to be one of these players who's going to stay at Man United for the next couple of years. He's going to be told he's going to have game time, and he doesn't get game time, like the likes of Lingard this season, the likes of Van de Beek under Ollie, and Martial. It's going to be a tough one to see with Phil Jones. But in terms of, look, let's stick with Frankie De Jong. I think there's been further reports coming out as well that Frankie De Jong and Timber are both looking at the Van de Beek situation and assessing that, and that could have an influence on their decision to come to Man United. And I would say, I don't believe that report at all, because when you look at Van de Beek, completely different situation. He came under Ollie. Pogba was pretty much going to go. We all thought he was going to go. So that's why he was bought. And then Pogba stayed. Van de Beek didn't get the game time. So that really affected Van de Beek's opportunity in the team. I mean, the fact that Pogba didn't go. And it's not even that. Let's be honest. I mean, if Frankie De Jong was going to come, he was going to cost 85, 90 million. And he's going to be a first team player. He's going to start almost every single game, because he costs a lot of money, and he's our best midfielder by far. When it comes to Timber, I think he's got a situation where he needs to look at very carefully, because he's a player who can play right back and centre back. I think he's going to play centre back, but he's going to cost 30, 35 million. And if we get him for that price, there could be a situation where we bought Lindelof by, what was it, Lindelof for 40 million? Around there. Maguire, you already know Maguire, 80 million. It's going to be a tough situation where both of them cost more than Timber. You've got Varane there, who's better than all our centre-backs, but he just got injured for France, so we can't even trust Varane anymore. No wonder he got sold to us for such a low price. He's injury-prone at this point, Varane. I mean, he's been injured a lot of times within the last year. We're talking 4, 5, 6 times. So Timber coming in, he's a player who should be worried in a sense, because I don't think Ten Hag will make that sort of mistake. I don't think we'll see what Ralph did or what Ollie did when Maguire's being played almost every single game. I think what we will see, listen, under a Ten Hag system, Maguire simply doesn't work. He will be given the opportunity like every other player will, but he's not the player for that. And that's why I think Timber, he should be worried in terms of, look, yes, you look at the season, you look at these managers, what they have done with Maguire and Lindelof, and at time drop Varane, which is insane. And think about that. But I think when you look at it as a fan, and a fan who's been following Manchester United the last season and the last couple of seasons and forever, you'll realise that Ten Hag should be the manager to make those changes, the manager to not make that sort of mistake in his system, because essentially, I mean, I can say that, but look at Ralph. He wanted to implement a system where it was gegenpressing, high pressing, energetic football, but he didn't, and he's still stuck with Maguire. So in this case, will Ten Hag do the same thing? Will he realise the players can't do it, and then he's stuck with a centre-back who doesn't fit in the system? But this is why we need Timber. If you get Timber, Varane, they can play together. Varane's injury-prone. You can still stick Lindelof in there. I think he's still a player who is a bit more reliable in that sort of system. Maguire's not. Bayer's going to be sold this summer for sure. I mean, there's been announcements coming out. Pogba, Lingard, Mata, 3 players who have been announced to leave this summer. And those are the 3 players we saw coming anyway that were going to leave. Mata wants first team football. Lingard is probably going to go West Ham most likely. And then you've got someone in Pogba who's going back to Juventus. So we have to assess that carefully. But look, in terms of those reports saying that they're looking at the Van de Beek situation, I think it's irrelevant. Like it doesn't even link to them at all. Van de Beek would be worth a bit more than Timber, but way less than half of what Frankie De Jong's going to. So I don't think Frankie De Jong will be looking at that situation. I think Frankie De Jong will be thinking about Champions League football and what's best for his career. And his dream move was always Barcelona. So I think those situations are irrelevant. And in terms of Van de Beek, I mean, let's talk about Van de Beek. Where's Van de Beek going to be in this team next season? I do hope he is in this team, and I do hope, look, Pogba's going to leave, Mata's going to leave. That's 2 number 10s gone. And even at times we didn't play Pogba in the number 10 position, or we didn't play Mata in the 10 position either. I mean, you can play Pogba in number 8, number 10, doesn't even matter. But Van de Beek, for me, seems to be a number 10 player. I mean, I was looking at a bunch of videos of him the other week, and he's clearly a player who suits better as a number 10. As an attacking midfielder, he's not really someone who... Yeah, maybe you could play him in a midfield too. Is he the type of player you want in the midfield too? I don't think his duels are really, really high in the past season. Not that he's played much anyway, so you can't really judge him on that. But for me, Van de Beek seems more of a number 10. Where if you play 4-2-3-1, you play him as a number 10, and he keeps swapping with Bruno. But I don't think that will happen next season anyway. I think we'll see a season next season where Van de Beek will be implemented in a midfield too. You may see him in the number 10 position at times. I think he's going to be experimented a lot in next season's team, because I don't see him playing every single game. You've got Bruno there, he's our main man, who still internationally has not popped off. I mean, the game against Spain was... it wasn't terrible. I've seen worse games, but when you look at someone who doesn't really turn up internationally, it's Bruno. And I think Bruno next season, look, he's got major changes to make under Ten Hag, and I think we've all said this season. The crazy parcel he always looks for, his lack of tackle, his ability to tackle is terrible. He always puts fouls on other players, and that's it. So guys, let me know what you think about this situation. I think Frankie De Jong he's still not going to come. Ruben Neves is the man. Tchouaméni, why is he not mentioned? And Nunez apparently as well. We are trying to get Nunez for 75 mil plus Andreas Pereira on top of that. So pretty much a swap deal, but we're still paying 75 mil for Nunez, which I find mad. Nunez, 75, 80 mil, give Pereira. Pereira, in my opinion, I don't rate very highly anyway. But I don't know if I believe that at all. I think that it would be insane to get 75 mil and then you're paying 80, 85 mil for Frankie De Jong. I've said this multiple times now. You're going to be paying 150, 160 mil for 2 players. Yeah, you're going to sell some players this summer, but are you going to have 4 Timber then? Are you then going to look for another midfielder? Are you going to try and get a fullback? It's going to be hard. So guys, let me know what you think. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.